Welcome back to the Prem Trifecta. I must say, this game week across all games has been pretty boring. But
Yeah.
honestly, it all makes sense. All the drama had to be saved for one game specifically, and it had to be for West Ham, Arsenal. And not even the whole game was drama. It was purely just, the last 5 minutes. Honestly, game changing, title changing decisions been made, but we'll dive more into that. I think we should probably start talking about the game first.
Yeah, I think I mean, we can just break down the first half is like the first half is summed up into a few moments, right? So you have the first 15 where I think we were dominating. Trossard should score probably twice. Calafiori should do better. Like, it should be a 3-0 early win like Fulham. We should go into halftime 3-0 up at that point within the first 15 minutes. First 15-20, we came out the gates like crazy, and then Ben White gets injured, and I think that kind of changes the whole game. I think that Ben White injury kind of completely sells us, and I think in this game, I think Arteta made a good substitution and then also a big mistake, and I think this was his big mistake of the game that could have potentially cost us, and that was instead of subbing on Mascara, he for Ben White, he subs on Zubamendi. I think what happened in the next 20-25 minutes up until halftime was we were just getting outran in the midfield. You had Rice at right back, um, who couldn't cover the transitions because he was at right back. And you had Zubamendi and Lewis Kelly who was just getting outran. They were just getting outran, and I think for Zubamendi it's a little bit of mental. I think it's a mix of mental and physical. I think he's physically tired, but on top of that, I think mentally there's something up with him, and that probably comes from the errors that have come and his drop of performances because he was tired. Um, and then Lewis Kelly, that's just not his game. His game isn't covering big distances. We know that. So it created a massive gap in the midfield. And I think he had to fix that because if it continued going like that, we would lose the game, right? Or it'd be much, you know, it would be less controlling than we wanted to. And I think he did fix that at halftime. I mean, I did call it a mistake in my reaction, but I think now looking at it and hearing that, it might have been an injury, we'll assume it's an injury, and let's say it is an injury to Calafiori, then I mean, there's nothing he could do, and I guess he kind of rectified his mistake by finally making that Calafiori for Mosquera sub, which meant that Lewis Skelly moves to left back, Rice moves back to the midfield, which gives us more balance in the midfield, and then you move Mosquera right back. Um, but still, I think until Zubamendi came off, it was we were controlling the game. We started to control the game with Rice back in the midfield, but we weren't threatening. We weren't really penetrating like we were in the first 15-20 minutes. We weren't creating like beautiful chances like we were in the first 15. I think there were no clear cut opportunities. There were a few half chances and there were a few good positions we got ourselves into, but that's about it. Um and then skipping ahead from one of the big moments of the game that we'll probably talk about, or we have to talk about. I think we go to the Odegaard, or maybe I don't remember when the Odegaard substitution was, but the Odegaard and Havertz substitution for
It
Zubamendi
was
and
like
someone
75th minute,
else.
something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly when, but the Odegaard and Havertz substitution for Zubamendi, and I can't remember who else it was. Um, Amazing. That was one of those substitutions that I think that was the one good thing, or that was the good thing that Arteta did to fully rectify his mistake earlier, because Zubamendi was, you could just tell he was physically out of it, he was mentally out of it. I feel bad for him. Clearly, I don't know if it's he hasn't settled in fully yet. I don't know if it's the pressure's gotten to him a little bit because this is his first title race, but on top of that, he's played a lot of minutes. I'm not honestly sure what it is, but you can tell he's a little bit out of it right now, and so it's unfortunate he had to get subbed off, but it is what it is. He got subbed off, and we looked a lot better after that. And then, man, Odegaard comes on, and 10 minutes later, he gives us two amazing chances, and then the goal. Beautiful, beautiful 1-2 with him and Rice, and then lays it off for waits and waits and waits, and then lays it off to Trossard, and beautiful finish, and that's what we expect, man. He's clutch. But I think beyond that, I think the two moments that we have to talk about are the one before the goal and the one at the end of the game after the goal. So I guess starting with the Fernandez goal chance. What do we think? Like what's the take when it comes to that chance?
What more can you say, bro? If you get yourself in that good of a position, especially for a player like Mateus Fernandez, who, the second half of the season, probably one of the reasons why West Ham even had a chance to make it out of the relegation zone, bro, a player like that, you don't expect him to miss. Especially not even a player like that, just anyone in that position, they should be able to slot the ball in the back of the net. Like I think, it's also nothing to take away from Raya because I think Raya did an amazing kind of read, um, and not even just react quickly because it looks like no one reacted that well to the position that he got himself in, but except Raya, and then he managed to close himself down and give him barely any space to kind of be able to slot the ball past him. But I think for a player like Mateus Fernandez, I know he's better than that. I know he should have put that chance in, but to think at that point he didn't score, it felt crazy, and it honestly felt like there was a little bit of shivers. It felt like maybe they might score again if they can get themselves in that position, but I guess that time just never came.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like from an Arsenal POV, it was. I mean, apparently there was a handball in the build-up, so it might have not counted anyway. But I think for me, it was the 1-2. It was so clean, and it kind of just ripped apart our defense, and it felt offside in the way that I felt like half of our defense, like on the right hand side, after they got ripped apart, it was just they just didn't move, and we usually don't get caught like that. There's very few goals that you could look back on this season and say that they were that type of goal that we conceded. It's usually a banger that we concede, or it's a scrappy goal. It's never really a goal where we get ripped apart clean that way. So I mean, for that to happen, for me it felt offside, but I think there was, you could tell there was I think it was just Raya reading him perfectly. Raya caught his bluffs and then reacted in the final second, cat like reflexes to save, and that's something you can't replicate. It just is what it is. But it reminds you of the Ortega save against Spurs against Humans on 23-24. Like it's literally the Cop and Carby same thing, away from home, tight game, bogey team you're playing against.
Pedal on
Um,
the line.
everything on the literally everything on the line. You draw or you drop points, which would probably be a draw, and most likely the team in second place goes on to win the league. Which that season it was us, and this season it was them because of goal difference. They would probably end up exceeding us. Um, so yeah, it was insane, and it's crazy how similar it is, but it is what it is. We got away with it. Raya legacy save, and then we ended up scoring. So Harshan, your take?
Great save by Raya. It's a chance that should be buried by Fernandez. Um, but in the end, it's just one of those things where it's like in the run of a title race, getting a big save like that is momentous, I would say, and it did lead to, I guess, the next goal.
Momentous, I like that word.
Yeah, I didn't even know if that's a real
Momentous.
word.
Yeah.
Like, but nah, I
Yeah,
think
I'm not gonna lie. He has a point. I feel like, when you look at that moment, especially when you look at the context behind that moment of the game, everyone's gonna more so look at it as like a world class save and a title defending save more than like oh my God, how did Fernandez not score that? So
no, no,
Yeah,
no, for sure. And
exactly.
then,
for the
and I
plot,
think
I think it was,
on top of that, like if he scores that, will we probably go on to lose the game? Which, if even if we drew, it would have been bad. But if we lost, that's title basically over. So yeah, the fact that he saved that at 0-0, insane. But I guess to move on to the next big, I guess, controversy in the game and the next big moment after the goal, which is the VAR. I mean, I guess I'll say my take first, and then you guys can take it after. But I think for me, even bias aside, I think it's so clearly a foul. Like it's like I saw, I was looking at Twitter and I was watching podcasts to see what other fans thought, and I think there is a large consensus. Maybe a consensus is not the right word, but there's a large majority that think that yeah, it definitely is a foul. I mean, it's not just one foul, it's two fouls, which I didn't even realize. It's two different players. So, first of all, Pablo has his arm against Raya's neck and holding on to his left arm. That was the first right arm. I can't remember which one. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
Like he's holding onto his arm and like in front of his neck, which is already a foul. But on top of that, I think it was Todibo is like holding Raya's shirt, pulling him back essentially. So it's two different players fouling the goalie, right? So it's not just one, it's two, and I think it's so clearly a foul. I mean, I get the debate, and probably one of you guys will bring it up. I get the debate with with the consistency element, but I mean, I think the response to that is that I mean, you want them to make the right decisions. So okay, yeah, maybe they haven't been consistent in the past, but it's not really about that. It's about make the right decision the next time, right? If they made the wrong decision in the past, it is what it is. It's what's done is done. But now in the future, make the right decision. And I don't think you can really argue that this was not the right decision.
Yeah, no,
Honestly,
and I personally agree with that too. Low key, my other take on it as well. Like, I was looking through like on like social media and whatnot after foul, and I saw this Chelsea fan page basically throwing a whole post saying this league is tainted, and you see how many of these fouls Arsenal gets, and this because of this foul they don't get a call. This league is tainted, and that type of thing. I've scrolled this damn comment section, and everyone's saying the same thing. But what I want to say to these people is cry harder. Like, it is
This is a
clearly a
Chelsea fan, by the
foul.
way.
Like, no, I'm just saying, like, it's clearly a foul. You can't like change an agenda because like this is like one club over another or like that type of thing. And like I feel like a lot of it honestly, a lot of this debate is going to just come down to like people just not wanting to see like Arsenal with the league. Like I don't want to see that either, but like just be objective. Don't be biased here and twist the judgment because of that. You get what I mean? Um, but yeah, I personally think it was a foul. Um, I don't think I know it was a foul, and I personally don't think it should be a debate. I get like the whole consistency thing, like is another argument, but like you know, as Chris said, you have to get it right at some point. That's the right call. And if you're going to say that that's the wrong call all of a sudden, well, another times you're going to say, oh, like you should be making that call. Then is that, are you really wanting consistency or do you just want like the call to go your way each time? You get what I mean?
I'll just repeat exactly what I said when I first saw the moment. Um, that was clear as day a foul, and the funnier part was this was before we even saw the jersey tug. So this was, everyone was focused on the VAR angle of who was it again? It
Pablo.
was it Wilson?
No,
I
Wilson
forgot who.
scored, but
Oh, Pablo, no, no,
Pablo
sorry,
tugged.
Pablo had his arm around Raya's
Yeah,
neck.
yeah, Pablo.
So, that clearly preventing the goalkeeper. You could see that he was going to catch it and it slips through his gloves. Even that angle alone, 100% a foul. But like I said, this was going to spark a debate where it's like, yo, how the heck is it that you guys can get away with it on the other end of the coin, but then when you guys are on this side of the coin, you guys get it in your favor, right? And honestly, I have to say you can't lie, there is obviously a bit of luck involved in that, but ultimately, I do think this was the right decision. I think the second we saw that, we're like, yo, this goal, if it doesn't get ruled out, it's crazy, right? But also,
Yeah. Also, like
you obviously
low key
know,
too.
yeah, go on.
Like low key too. Like how many other teams also do the same thing? Like it's not
Every
just an
team,
Arsenal thing.
every
That, like,
team in the league, but
Oh,
every
no,
team
no,
does the same thing.
100%,
but also on top of
100%.
it, on top of all that, like I think, like I watched rival fans, like trust me, on Twitter it was going crazy. I watched the
Yeah,
compilations that
exactly.
other teams made or other rival fans made of our fouls, and I'll tell you, not one of them is the same. Like I know I heard United fans talking about it, and it's like the opening goal for Calafiori, it's not the same because blocking is different to blocking and that type of stuff, which everyone does. Grappling a little bit is different to when the ball is in the air and the goalie's going to catch it, grabbing their arm. That is like a,
Which
No, 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 no. I
literal
100% agree.
like
I was saying that like no, this is that's what I'm saying. This is clear as day of foul. 'Cause at least the other ones, it's up for debate where it's like genuinely when I saw that I'm like
you're
yo
just talking about the
that's what it
irony.
reminded me of too. It reminded me of the all-time moment, right? But then I'm like that doesn't matter though. Like regardless, even if it's not as bad, a foul is still a foul. That's like kicking someone in the face and
No, but those weren't
it's a foul, is a foul,
fouls.
bro.
But those
Huh?
those weren't like this. What I'm saying. Like okay, with the whole corner debate, because I think that's what's been sparked. Like that's what kind of this is sparked. Under their laws, we have just maximized what isn't a foul. right? In terms of, and everyone does it now, but we just did it first in terms of blocking, in terms of surrounding the goalie and that type of stuff. You
A
think
hundred percent, a hundred
last
percent. But
season, last season, or maybe the season before, they didn't have it. There was no problem with surrounding the goalie and like being a little physical with them. And then at the start of this season, or at the end of the last season, they kind of switched the rules to say no, you cannot be like
impeded with the goalkeeper,
you
yeah.
cannot impede with the goalie. They got a lot more sensitive on that this season, where anything will go goalie's way, right? Um, but they never changed the rules when it comes to blocking or when it comes to just like limiting the space that the goalie can travel to, right? They never. And if you want to fix if you want to fix this whole corner situation, that's kind of what you have to do. Is you have to, I guess, like ban blocking, right? Like I guess that's probably the best solution. But my point is those aren't, we've just been the best at navigating what is a foul and what isn't a foul. And yeah, we've obviously, every team has had lucky decisions in terms of, like, I remember us scoring against Chelsea a corner and that being disallowed. But I also remember us scoring a corner or two that I didn't think should have been allowed as a goal. It is what it is. That's just kind of how it goes. And I think like the only way you fix the corner solution, and this for all teams, not just for us, is just by changing the rules. Like the rules just have to be looked at if you want it to be, you know, more clear and I guess less blocking and like fouling. But I don't think from it a little bit how what we do,
Second.
but
You cut off for a second. You're gonna have to repeat that last part.
I said it's overstated a little bit, like how bad it is in terms of what we do. But I think overall, like the whole corner situation, the whole conversation just comes down to the rules probably should just be looked at anyway. Because even with the long throws, for
100%, bro.
example,
If this thing doesn't change, like you can't lie. This season, the Prem has been so scrappy
yeah,
in
but
terms
that's
of set
cinema.
pieces.
It's cinema.
That's no, but it's
Yeah,
like no one honestly that it makes it less entertaining to see.
I
Sometimes
don't.
it's
I
nice,
don't
but
agree.
no, like I don't think I really. It's not football. Is not all just about scrapping when it comes to being on the other side of the pitch, right? Like you can scrap, but like it's like when you have the ball in open play, it's just way more nicer to watch. That's kind of like the football we grew up watching, right? Like we see these in moments, but I think what it is that this is being over relied on as this is like, yo, this is really our chance to score. We gotta push this, right? But I think my problem with this is that it's just over relied on. It's just an instant solution when you're looking for a quick goal. You know what I mean? That's my
Yeah,
only
but I
problem
feel
with these
like
type of situations.
I mean, I don't think it's a problem though because like they're not breaking any rules like that type of thing.
No,
You
that's
know,
not what I mean
like
by problem. I'm saying the sense that it's just not. It just
yeah,
doesn't
yeah. I
make
get what
it
you
that
mean. You're
enjoyable
saying
to
from an
watch.
entertainment perspective, right? You're
Yeah,
saying
I'm
from an
saying
yeah,
entertainment
as
perspective,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not as
purely as a fan
entertaining.
watching a good game of
Valid,
soccer.
valid, but
Like I can't really argue about that and say the same thing because like in our best years under Mourinho, we were like
Why are you
it's
spotting?
just like you sounded mad American, bro. Like, yeah, it's because I'm a soccer, bro. All right, bro.
Footy, bro. Same thing. We're
Anyway,
in Canada.
Footy,
no,
bro.
I
Like
was saying no. Okay,
yeah,
I was gonna say like I think I saw Arteta talk about it in a press conference, and it sucks when managers talk about stuff in a press conference, and it's just so accurate, but people don't listen to it because I guess they just don't like the manager, or like they don't like the coach or they don't like the team. But if you listen to Arteta's words about it, Arteta has said the issue isn't the issue is because of man to man pressing and because of the amount of the quality of the Premier League nowadays in terms of the depth that most teams have and the quality of their starting 11, it has become a situation where you have to maximize every margin, right? Because if you look at it, I think I don't know if it's a year over year thing, but I know for sure this year, open play percentage of goals has just shot down this year, and I think it decreased last year as well. I think it's on a downward trend, and that's just because of the defensive structure of teams, right? You just have more teams that are
With goal box
defensively
and stuff, yeah.
defensively structured, defensively elite, and on top of that, they have top athletes, right? Back in the day, like if you're thinking about 15, 16, for example, you have the top six, and then you have one or two outside clubs that are decent. And then you have one or two players per, mid-table team that are decent. And then after that, you have a lot of scrubs, right? You think about like Everton, for example, you have John Stones, you have Coleman, you have Lukaku, but like, and you have Ross Barkley, and you have players, but that's, for example, I would name 4 or 5 players, but that was a good team back in the day for the Prem. Now, if you go to any Prem team, I could give you 2 or 3 players that I would want, and brother, you know, I'm challenging for titles. Like, I'm going to 19th place. I'll go to 20th place Wolves, worst team in the league, and say, yo, you know what, João Gomez, at a deal, I would take him in rotation. Probably not, honestly, if like I'd rather have other players, but he's a good player. He could easily be at a top 6 club, right? And so I think the whole like corners conversation, it goes hand in hand with just the quality of the Prem, right? Because bef- before, corners weren't that deep, right? People weren't maximizing corners because they didn't need to. They just needed to maximize on the ball quality. But now you kind of have to maximize corners because if you don't, then you're going to be behind because teams like Brentford that came up from the championship have been maximizing it. So you're going to be behind, and the man-to-man press makes it so difficult to score an open play already. Just how the Prem is. Like, what can you really do to fix that?
Fair. All right. Shall
Yeah,
we?
that's what I'm saying. It's just one of those unfortunate things. But I mean, I feel like that rule of not being able to crowd the goalkeeper, or at least having more stricter restrictions on that, I think that will, force a change. Because you can't just say, like, I understand that some teams, their main goal is just to survive relegation and try to stay in the Prem for as long as they can. But at one point, the teams start being like, "Yo, we need to start improving ourselves. You can't just keep, you know." We know we acknowledge that other teams are better, and obviously that sometimes it is a harsh truth. Even if you want to play the same as them, you might get smoked, right? But
Yeah.
there has to be that stepping stone where you're thinking we need to start competing on their level, because then, if not, you're just always just gonna be staying like the club you are, right?
But
There's
that's not the
no
point. That's not the point, though. The point is like the point of what I was trying to
No,
say
no,
was
I
this.
no, no, I understand. I'm just saying like I'm saying like that is the unfortunate reality of the Prem. Like basically what you just said.
Yeah, I mean it's just man to man.
Yeah.
It's just the issue of man to man pressing, right? Like Arteta was saying. Arteta was like, if you wanted a different prem, your best solution is eliminate man to man pressing. Make all managers agree not to man press, and then you have a better prem. But he's like, no one's gonna do that. So it is what it is, and also you gotta remember football is cyclical, right? Footy cyclical in the way that you had 40 years ago, 30 years ago, people doing the corners and set pieces and it being dominant. And then it moved back to technical slowly, right? It's and like it went from set pieces heavy and just chaos to more counter attacking, and then it like counter attacking possession, and then parking the bus came through, and then full tiki taka came through, and then you had three in the back systems come through. Like, football is a cycle, right? And so this is just a cycle, a situation that we're in, and it's just a part of the cycle. Next, it will go, it will be phased out eventually. It's the situation of the Prem right now, the way it is right now in terms of the standard of the clubs and the players. You have to maximize everything, and that's just what it is. I don't know if any specific rule will fully remove set pieces, or like
Yep.
like I don't know if it'll I don't know how much it'll change the state of the Prem. But honestly, I like it. I like the chaos anyway. It's fun. Not even as a
I like the chaos, but I just don't like it when it's only this type of chaos. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
that's valid. But at the same time, like I do think like you do still see great teams on the ball. You look at Bournemouth. You look at like I think you could name so many teams throughout this season that have had a period where they look beautiful on the eye. You guys,
uh,
Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Leeds even had a period. West Ham had a period. I think every City,
Forest.
obviously, Liverpool not
yeah.
really, but Liverpool maybe first 5 games if you want to count it. I think every team has had a period where they look good in the eye. It's just so competitive, and I low key like that. But it is what it
Yeah.
is. I
It's
mean, we might as well move on anyway.
Yeah.
Um, where do you want to head to next? Do you want to talk about City? Because I mean, do we, or do we just want to move straight to one
No,
of you
let's go
guys?
Chelsea, Liverpool.
Well, you don't want to talk about City, bro?
Bro, it's a Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal podcast.
I mean, yeah, but it's a title race, so.
We can quickly cover the City game.
What was the
Never.
City game? 3-0?
It was Brentford. Brentford City 3-0.
Does it okay? You know what? I guess like the way to quickly go over is what does that change? Does that change anything? Does that game change anything in terms of how you guys view the title race?
No.
No, no, not at all. Like all you can really take away from that game is Doku right now is a crazy problem.
Yeah, he's a problem.
He's a
Yeah,
pro.
he's a problem.
What he did at Everton, even though they had that one moment or like they had like what 20 minutes in the second half that just completely cost them the game, where start off with that Marguerite mistake and everything. Like Doku's still the one who stepped up, and you can even see in this game, big player. So
Yeah, I think if he doesn't score that equalizer, Prem's over. Like I can't say the Prem's over because we draw one game and it's back on. And that's kind of why I asked. I'm surprised everyone thinks that it's just gonna be easy. I mean, I don't like we draw one game and then it goes to goal difference. Those 3 goals they made up means that they would have a game in hand and 2 goal difference to catch up on. Like I don't know. It seems a lot
yeah,
tighter than
but
what people are saying.
it's also because you guys play Burnley next, and you guys play Palace, where they play Palace, Bournemouth, and Aston Villa.
I mean, you never know. Like you
So
literally never
yeah,
know.
you
Like
do never know about. We're
this
just saying on
season,
paper.
this season, literally, this season could. You know what could happen this season? This season we could drop points to Burnley, and then they go and drop points to
I mean,
Aston
yeah, you
Villa.
guys have dropped
Like
points to Wolves too. I forgot. Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
you
I
never know.
mean, yeah, I mean, you guys did too, but let's
Yeah, I know.
relax. So anyway,
All of us actually did. Actually, no, I don't think Chelsea did.
no, Chelsea did.
They
Bro,
dropped
Chelsea dropped
points to
points to
everyone else, but
everyone, bro. I don't think
yeah.
Chelsea has
Everyone.
done the double over any
Everyone.
team. You guys are 10th,
No,
bro.
besides Wolves, yeah.
No, they dropped
Yeah,
points to
besides
Wolves. I'm
Wolves.
like pretty sure they drew against
No,
Wolves.
no, I don't
No,
think
no,
so.
we didn't drop points to those.
I think they beat Wolves twice.
Really? I'm gonna
Shit,
fact
bro.
check.
The only team on this pod has to do the double over Wolves. That's a
Bro,
little bit
no way.
insane.
I actually don't believe that, bro.
No, trust me.
We
They
just
did.
nearly lost to them in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, Carabao. That when Liam Delap came back from injury, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Yo, I'm in WWE."
Yeah, and that Jamie
What?
Giddens goal. That Jamie
Why are
Giddens
you so
goal.
why are you shocked, bro? Like it's just more
Okay.
shocking that we didn't do the double over Wolves.
Okay. So they beat Wolves 3-1 away. Okay, yeah, you're right. They did do the double.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Halma.
I mean,
But
either way,
anyways,
I had to
what do
fact
what do
check.
you think about does this game change your perspective in the title race? City
No,
Brentford?
but I think, I mean, like, not really, but to me, but my perspective is different than you guys. You guys are acting. Okay, is it over to you guys? Is the title race over? Is it
No, it's
done?
not over. I would say
No,
it's
no,
over now.
I don't think anyone said it was over.
I mean, but you guys. But you
Like,
guys
No,
are
I'm
I'm saying
saying
acting.
I'm
he
saying
doesn't change
I
the
give
position
a
teams
reason
on
why
you.
other people think it's over. Because I
Okay,
said
so
because
then,
of the
so then
fixtures
this
on paper,
has.
but
Then how does this not impact your view on the title race?
because
Because
you
it's the
guys
same
can
had
still
before.
points.
It's like
Wait,
same
what?
point
You guys
gap. Like
What? You guys cut like one of you guys lagged and the other one just like you guys are talking over each other.
I said it's because you guys can still drop points, so you never know yet. And they just had a 3-0 win. So and against Brentford, I didn't
Well,
expect a 3-0 win
okay, but
because
that's not the. I mean, yeah, obviously it's never over till it's over. But like, do you see us dropping points? Is the point of what I mean by is it over? Because if you don't see us dropping points, then
oh
you think it's over.
I mean, you
no,
never
I
know.
don't see you guys
It's
dropping
the
points, but at the same time, I'm not confidently saying it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
well, I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
obviously,
Like
because you don't know until it's done. But my point is
no, but
like,
that's not even my point. I'm saying it could happen, but I just don't see a world where it does. So
so it means
it's
you
like a
basically think
50-50,
it's
bro.
over. Okay, whatever. Okay, whatever.
No, it's not. You
Alright.
you never
Okay.
heard of
Shall we
50-50?
shall we move into thing? Chelsea, Liverpool?
Why do you want to talk about Chelsea so bad?
What do you want to talk about, Chelsea?
Yo,
Bro, that
why do you want to talk about Chelsea so bad? Like,
I
like,
want to talk about Chelsea, man.
this is the one game they
Because a,
didn't
mir-
lose,
a
bro.
miracle,
It
a
makes
miracle
sense.
has happened.
bro,
We
you
do not
guys
go
scored the
007.
last game. Like, oh, you guys got a point, bro. Like, who cares? That was such a
We
dead
do not
game.
go
I'm
007.
like a dead ass. I was thinking about like 30 other things to talk about before we talk about that Chelsea game. That shit was so dead. Like, holy. But yeah, sure.
Well, look.
Second
We
half was
avoided
okay.
007. We avoided 007. No, it was a horrible game. Don't lie to yourself.
No, I said the second half wasn't that bad. It was
no,
still a
no,
horrible
it was
game.
entertaining.
no.
It was
No, and
entertaining.
you know what's so funny? Like, you know what's so funny? You guys have made teams that are not that great look good. Liverpool have done the same. You guys simultaneously at the same time made each other look good. Like, you know how like impressive that is?
Yeah.
Both
No,
of you guys
it
are
was.
so shit that
Yeah.
you guys made Liverpool look good, and Liverpool made you guys look good.
It's the battle. It's the battle of mid.
Bro, it's actually
Like,
it's a little tragic because the game was entertaining, but the game wasn't entertaining because like, oh my god, this is beautiful
There's gonna be
football.
goals.
It
Yeah.
was just chaos. Like it was just nonsense
yeah,
going on. Second half, the two disallowed goals and etc. etc. It was just chaos. Like I could not predict what was gonna happen next.
yeah. But
Yeah,
like, if I
honestly,
were
that's what I
to
played.
say like a few key things from that game, first of all, Levi Cole, welcome back. Thank God.
He made a return in whatever game that you guys finally scored
He
against.
played. He played in under 21s, but he didn't make a return there.
No,
His first start.
he had a little cameo
Yeah, he had a
in the
little
game before.
cameo.
Oh, never mind then. But dropped in the starting lineup.
you could you could tell who's been following Chelsea real good, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Dropped in the
Yeah.
starting lineup. Impressed. In my eyes, best player on the pitch. Um, and for someone who literally just came off an ACL to start his first game in the minute, like
Best player
solid
on the
performance
fucking pitch.
on Chelsea's side.
Actually, you know what? I don't even know. I would say probably Enzo, not gonna lie, but
I mean, okay, fair, but yeah. So Cole was back and firing. That's good. Joel Hato had a good game, I would say. We had a Mark Cucurella left wing experiment.
Oh, I was just
oh
gonna
my
say that.
god, yeah, no,
Yeah,
he
I
was
completely
better.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
It's
he was
because
good
Garnacho
too.
was out, Pedro Neto was out, and Esteban was injured.
Honestly,
But
he was probably better than.
I don't know why Pedro
He's
Neto was
better.
out,
He's
but I
better
know
than
Garnacho
he's
picked
better
up.
than Pedro Neto and Subject 49, man.
I mean, he is like an inverted kind of left back, right? Like I
No,
think
but
he can.
to be out doing those two actual proper wingers.
You know what? I think the thing is that his just off the ball movement was fire. Like that's what it was. His off
Yeah,
the ball movement was just crazy, and you're also playing against no right back and mid right center back, so it just kind of
but
it just like
hey,
led to what it led to.
at least he has movement. He can
I
move
mean,
with
I
some.
think
He can
Neto
move.
also
I
has
mean, no,
movement.
Jones is not that bad at right back. He's okay.
Neto,
Obviously, it's not his natural position, but he's still okay at right back.
I mean, it's more so like yeah, but his defensive awareness is like pretty lacking, which you saw in that
Yeah,
game. I mean, he kind of got like threaded through multiple times.
yeah. I think Caicedo also had a good game. You saw him break the lines 4 times with some pretty great passes through. Um, Enzo, obviously the only player who's like fighting for our club right now, having another like
Fighting for a club after being suspended for 2 games.
yeah, fighting for our club after being suspended and saying the best city to live in is Madrid, and that's the player with the most fight.
You know,
So
I have a question. So because
yeah,
like maybe I'm skipping past the game a little bit, but I don't know if do you have many talking points?
no, there's not a lot of talking. About, to be
Okay,
honest with
because I was gonna say
I
like
have a couple talking points,
you.
but
I have talking points outside of the game, but like you get what I mean. But
okay,
what's your
well, my question was like, does how what do we because the FA Cup final is on Saturday.
question?
What's the confidence levels going into that game?
I would say like a 5 or 6 out of 10. It's not like as bad as it was before.
wait, five,
So
five
you
or
think
6
you're
out of
gonna
10?
win?
50,
No,
60%
no, no.
chance.
I'm not saying 5 or 60% chance. I'm saying 5 or 6 out of 10 in terms of confidence. Firstly, it is one game,
But
like the
that's what
FA
that
Cup.
means. 5 or 6 out of 10 means a 50 or 60% chance you think you're gonna win.
I mean, I'm gonna back my team. Hopefully, they get it over the line.
Oh shit, he's back, yo. He's
No
finally
way,
back. He's saying, "I'm gonna back
bro.
my team, bro." I'm
Back
saying
your
gonna back my
like
team.
team.
spoke to yo, I'm gonna back my team.
I'm gonna back
That
my
one draw's
team.
doing you solid, bro.
No way,
Look,
bro.
like
Mighty jog
the way
is
I look at it,
Liverpool.
the way I look at it is like, okay, it's a final. The players are in the final. We know they turn up for these big games, and it is also low-key a Chelsea thing to just underperform the whole season and then like miraculously somehow play one game very well and win a trophy.
And also, I mean, Europe is looking kind of crazy for you guys, so this is probably
This is the
Your
only
best
chance that we're
chance?
gonna get. Yeah,
only final
Only
Yeah,
chance
so-
of the
chance?
last
No,
dance.
it's still super tight, and the
It's
teams you're
super tight,
competing
but I
against,
just, you know,
the teams you're competing
No,
against
we're not-
the teams you're competing against all like
Brentford
They're all well. It's not even like, bro. It might be 8 spots depending on Villa where they
Yeah,
place. It might be 8 spots that go to Europe from England. So it's kind of like, you
yeah,
know, it's not that hard to get eighth considering who you're competing against. You're competing against like Fulham and stuff.
yeah.
Like let's
Like
just be for real. Like you should be finishing at least in Conference League spot.
no, we should. But honestly, like I'm not gonna rule my team like in a final. I think we can get over the line and do something here. And whether people believe or not, which most people don't, I don't care.
I have a
You
question.
know,
I have a question. I have a
but
question to both
but
of you, right? So let's just assume that Chelsea win the FA Cup, and then the season ends after that, right? Let's just say it because it doesn't. The rest of it doesn't matter. Who's had a better season, United or Chelsea?
United.
Oof.
Just the only reason why the reason why I say that is like think about like what United was expected to do before the season and think about where they are now.
No, no, no. Don't. I wouldn't.
No, but you still ended this even despite that you guys still ended the season with the trophy.
Okay, but like also think about what people were thinking that we were going to do before the season even
I
started.
actually don't know.
Yeah,
Like
but
people were
okay, okay.
saying,
Let's
"Oh, we're
add in.
gonna
No,
Okay,
like
okay,
let's
but
add
at
in.
the same
Wait,
time,
wait. Let's add
we're
in.
going crazy recency bias because you gotta consider us at the beginning of the season and you guys at the beginning of the season because you guys were doing good. You guys were second at one point.
Let's
yeah,
add no,
We,
but let's also
yeah,
add in the
we were.
context. Let's also add in the context that US had UCL to play and US did okay in it, whereas United had 40 games this season because they lost to Grimsby and they lost to Brighton and so they got knocked out of both of their cups in the first round while only playing no European football. So they ended with 40 seasons this game this or 40 games this
40
season.
seasons.
yeah.
40 games
But
this
like
season.
even then, like I'm just like I feel like the team should have done more. First of all, we didn't fire Magreska. We
I
would have
think
done
you're
like
I, th-
more.
I think
You
you're
know,
weighing it against expectations though. Is that like I'm more seeing
That's what
like
I'm saying. No,
I'd
yeah,
say
I
that's
feel like you are
reasonable.
as
I'd
you're
well,
say
you're
that's
but
reasonable to weigh it.
no, but
Like
like I think like I mean yeah, maybe at the begin like if you're I don't know, I guess maybe, but at the same time like for me, I would just look at like what did the teams accomplish given what happened during the season and who okay, you know what? Let's
no,
simplify
and also
simplify it
you know what
then.
it is too. It's also because we still don't have a fixed manager yet. We still don't know if Carrick's gonna get the job, even though
Eric
we've
will
had
get
a
the job,
good
I
end to
feel.
the
But
season. Even though we had a good end to the season, this does not mean that we're gonna be doing good next season. And I'm gonna get more into that once I talk about my game against Sunderland. But like I still think if you guys win the cup, I would still say you guys. Oh no, but also they've also had some like a 6 game losing streak with 5 of those games having 0 goals. Like that's even Amram didn't do that.
Okay, can we ask a question? Let me ask a different question then, right? Um,
yeah,
what would you rather have? Would you rather finish? Let's just assume you're gonna finish like I don't know ninth, right? Would you rather finish ninth but win the FA Cup, or finish third and secure Champions League?
finish ninth and win the FA Cup.
I'd actually rather take where we are right now. Not gonna lie.
Because are you
Okay,
winning
I
the
mean,
Champions League if you make the Champions League? No, we aren't.
pardon?
I mean, fair point, but I mean, you still want to compete in the Champions League no matter what it is. Like, you're still going to be competing in Europe. Might as well be Champions League.
But look, like our perspective, or like it's my perspective on Chelsea is like no matter what's happening, like a trophy should be in the door. And so I'd say ninth and winning a FA Cup is better, especially since we haven't won the FA Cup in
I
like
don't know,
a
man. We
minute.
got eighth and we won the FA Cup, and then look what happened after that.
I was just gonna say, I was
I'm
gonna be like,
I'm
you
just
know,
speaking from experience, bro.
you know why I was asking? It's because back in the day, this was like a debate between who was it? It was us and Chelsea fans and us and United fans because we finished eighth and won the FA Cup in 2020, and everyone was like, and everyone was there was outrage that we said that we had a better season than I think it was Chelsea and United because you guys just finished top four. So I was just curious like where we
Oh well, I guess I'm sticking to what the common consensus was. Someone else
Yeah,
is
I'm gonna stick to what I'm saying. Like the
I
trophy
mean,
thing,
at the same time, the
you know.
situations are different, right? So
Like
I
like
mean
like
yeah
here,
I
like
think
let's put it one way. Let's put it one way. You see like these bunch of Chelsea fans, like if Arsenal goes trophyless this season, no matter how good they do, they're gonna say, "Oh, it's trophyless season. Like it's not even as worth it as this." So like the same argument could be made, like you know, back there. You get what, you understand what I'm saying?
This guy is talking about himself. You're the first guy that will mention that we went trophyless.
Okay, yeah, but like, like if I'm okay, but look, if I'm gonna say that, like if I'm gonna say that and say like my season is like was better, then like I can't use the reverse logic and say my season was better in 2020 when you guys won the FA Cup. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, fair.
Right. Yeah. But I guess the other thing I wanted to talk about is Xabi Alonso.
I was gonna ask about that too.
What do
Recent
you want to
news of
ask?
2 hours ago.
No, it was
Two
earlier
hours
than
ago.
that. It was earlier than that. I saw it in the morning.
Well,
Oh,
was
was
it
it the
two
morning?
hours
Oh,
ago?
probably. I just probably saw it 2 hours ago then. I mean,
But the
everyone. It
Ornstein
was it was
bomb?
rumor speculated, but as soon as David Ornstein kind of mentioned it,
No, no, I saw Athletic, so probably David Ornstein mentioned it around 1 or 12.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I saw two pieces of news. Firstly, being that Chelsea was in talks with Xabi, and then after that,
Yeah, I saw that too.
Ornstein said that Liverpool's not even considering Xabi and they're going to stick with Arne Slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not.
Do I honestly think that this is going to happen? No, we're going to end up going with like Felipe Luis or something at the end of the day, or like some championship manager. But if it does, holy shit.
Hmm. It would just be funny to see the Liverpool tears. That would be
Yeah.
that would be comical.
But
But
here's my thing. Here's my thing. If Chelsea is really going to get Xabi Alonso, and if they get Xabi Alonso through the door, then that means that like the sporting directors or the owners, like whoever they are, would have admitted number one that they were wrong with their like recruiting process, and number two that they're gonna let the coach come in and build the project, or like let the manager come in and build the project how it usually should be, right? And do I really think that they're gonna do that? No, they're not.
you think they're even going to stick to that word, even if they agree to that?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. They are you really gonna say that they agree to
They could
that?
say yes, and then they could just be like, no, we're wrong
I
for
Yeah.
don't
that.
think I think my perspective on this conversation when it comes to Xabi Alonso is why would Xabi Alonso do this?
Yeah,
It's
That's the
exactly.
other
Yeah.
thing too. Like
that's my
realistically, why would Xabi want to
POV.
come here?
That's my
Like why would Xabi
POV.
want to come here?
I mean, like, bro, look, I understand the concept of, like managers want to go to big clubs and save them and that type of stuff. That's what made so many managers want to go to United over the past 10 years or so. And same with Chelsea in the past few years. But I feel like Xabi Alonso, yes, he kind of flopped at the pinnacle, the peak. He flopped at Real Madrid. But yo, I think there's so many opportunities if he just
I think it's
waits.
also unfair to say he flopped at Madrid. We all know
I don't think
why.
I
I
wouldn't say he
mean, yeah, but like
flopped.
that's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the perspective, right? He got sacked, so what can you say,
Yeah.
right? But
Well. Here's my thing. My only thing, like the reason why I say he didn't flop at Madrid is because like he had that team competing, top of the champ, UCL, second in La Liga, top in La Liga at the point, and then Vinny, like a crybaby, sticks his guy out, and then
He was on top of the UCL, but I mean, like, go on,
yeah,
go on, go on. Like,
no,
it's
no,
not really
but
that.
like no, not at the end of his stature, but I'm saying at some point, and then
I
Vinny
don't,
like
I don't
throws
even
his
know if
guy
that's
under the
true.
bus.
Let him cook. Let him
No,
cook. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
You
yeah,
know
yeah,
what he
sure,
means. You know.
cook, bro, cook, whatever. Give your prop,
You
bro.
know. You know
no.
what he means. You know.
And then the players turn on him, and Real Madrid's a club that just chooses the players over the manager. So is that really like a manager feeling, or is it just like the
Listen,
system? You get what I
I feel
mean?
like Real Madrid right now is like even with recent news, it's just a whole different situation. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like I wouldn't say your board is like a very big red flag right now. So it's just why
No,
would
it
any
is a red
I
flag.
just
What I'm
don't know
saying
why
is
he
like,
would want to
why would manager?
come. I think that's just my
exactly
That's what I'm
that's
saying too.
that's what made everyone even believe that it was just rumors. But then yeah, I mean,
Like
I have
honestly,
no
a,
credible sources are
like
kind of saying that.
I have a feeling you guys will get Areola, not
I honestly, I was gonna say the same as well.
not Xabi
yeah,
Alonso.
I think
I
Ariel
have a
is a
Ariola
feeling
has
aggressive
done
one.
the way I see it
crazy
panning
with
out is
Conte.
I see it panning out that Xabi Alonso will wait. I think the Liverpool job is probably what he'll end up with. Not this season, but next season. I think he'll just wait. I think you guys will end up with Areola, and I think United will probably stick with Carrick. And even if they don't, I just think one of you two will get Areola. I would be shocked if Xabi Alonso went to Chelsea. I would be shocked because it's just, whether he would do well for you guys or not, I don't even care about that at that point. We'll talk about that when it happens. I just think it just doesn't make sense from him,
It
his
does not.
POV.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, and I think Liverpool makes so much more sense in terms of the way the club is going.
He plays for
and
the
the
club.
players they already have. Like I just
Yeah.
think it makes so much more sense systematically that he goes there, even if it means that he
Yeah,
has to wait a little
they
bit.
literally have Frimpong and
Verts.
Wirtz as well,
I
like
mean,
who we already
yeah,
poached.
I mean, on top of all that, like he waited for the Real Madrid job. Like he stayed an extra season at Leverkusen to wait for the Real Madrid job. So I don't see why he wouldn't just wait again until his ideal job came up. And I feel like, why would that be Chelsea? Like, why would Chelsea be your ideal job where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna risk it. Let me go back out because if he fumbles in his next job, it's spooky for his
It's gonna
like
be it's gonna be
managerial
tough.
career because you
But
can't
once again,
go.
even if it is that he comes into this and he gets, he fails, I guess everyone's gonna know what
No, it
really
doesn't.
happened.
It has to be the only way it would work out is if he does like a Maresca type thing. But like even then, it would be too sus. Like you seen it with too many managers where you can fail at Real Madrid, but if you fail again after that, bro, come on, you're cooked, man. It doesn't matter because it will be looked bad on you too, and also it'll be a sense of like, okay, this guy just doesn't choose the right job either. Like this guy cannot choose his
Yeah.
job to save his life. So I don't know. I think his next job is really important. So I don't know why he would go to Chelsea. It just doesn't really make sense.
He does need to come back, but I also don't think Chelsea's the place for him to do that.
No, I don't think so either. But if it happens,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. I mean, do we move on to Man U then? The Sunderland
Yeah, I just want to make
3-0.
one final comment. Yo, I don't think I've ever seen a game, and then like once the game is done, I go on social media, and I'm seeing one fan base being like, "How the hell did we just drop points to this team? They're so shit." And you go to the other fan base, and they're saying the exact same thing. I don't think I've actually ever witnessed that in my life. Yeah, that's,
As I say, the battle of mid, right? Like World War II
and yo,
comeback right here, yeah.
I have to say as well, you guys are honestly lucky that Slot just has some kind of agenda against Chiesa and Ryongamoa. Because
Yeah.
I think you guys might have lost that game if
If
Ngamoa
Rio
stayed
stayed
on.
on, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
fair.
so yeah, that's that. I guess we ready to move on
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's
to
go United, man. Sunderland, boring ass game, 0-0.
holy out of the entire season. Like we
I
are
wonder how
known.
long we're gonna talk about this game.
No, honestly, I don't have any interest to talk about it for more than 5 minutes. So I'll make this short and sweet. Bro,
Sure.
I did my match review and I called it the most boring game I've watched of Man
Like
United
like
all this season.
like genuinely saying, like it's not even about the game too. It's like the results and like where you are and like everything, like literally nothing has changed.
Oh no, honestly no. I don't give a shit about the result because obviously context comes with it. But you
Mhm.
have no idea how many times I stared at my Command W keys. Like I was so close to turning that game off. So
What does
like
Command W do?
close the tab.
Oh, okay. Appreciate it. Continue.
Gosh. But yeah, by without doubt one of the most boring games. But honestly, did you guys see the starting lineup before the game started? Like, do you guys know what the starting lineup was?
Nah. No. What was the
Okay, well
lineup?
I should have expected a yes from you. Do you at least know the starting lineup? You're cut out.
Okay.
Nah, this guy purposely disconnected his mic. Ah, you did. I know you did.
Wait. Okay, I see what's going on here.
Yeah, now do you guys understand?
Why is this happening?
Yeah, like I said, context comes with it, but I think it goes beyond the game. The fact that the game is boring. I think it just goes over what needs to be done. So once the guy gets his mic back up.
You have Mason Mount at midfield,
Anyways, all
at
right, whatever.
defensive midfield.
Yeah, I know, and that's because Casemiro had a, like how Cunha last minute before the Brentford game got withdrawn, and he's like, "Yo, slight issue. He's not gonna be able to play." Same thing
Yeah.
happened to Casemiro, so Casemiro was out of the squad, and yeah, we had to improvise and put Mount in there. And you know what? I'm happy because at least the one good sign we can take away from this is the fact that there is a holding midfielder that's on the bench, and he still chose to play Mount over him. So at least it's a good sign. We want this guy out as soon as we can. So. Mic's still not working, by the way. Um,
It's fine. It's the Man United talk. It's the most boring game of the time. We don't need
honestly.
another guy.
But yeah. Otherwise, you guys can see like now that you see the lineup, you can see what's clearly wrong. For one, Xerxes, brother, you've got your first start of the season. Actually, no, second start of the season, and you decide to do that. I have, I honestly had no words. Like every single cameo he had so far under Carrick has been good, especially like the one in Everton. That was like a beautiful cameo. We're like, yo, we need to see more of Xerxes whenever we can. We finally did, especially because Sesko he kind of left the Liverpool game with the knock as well.
Hmm.
And yeah, what do you do? He didn't deliver. So I think I can keep talking about everything that's wrong with this game, but more so, I think it just goes to show how much work still needs to be done. Like, yes, we got to third. Yes, we've comfortably secured Champions League, something we didn't expect to do. But then now you're looking at it, and now you're thinking this midfield rebuild it needs to be completely like it needs to be flawless in terms of
Game so
how
boring,
we
it's making
recruit.
me yawn.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. Only one of us is getting money this season, but it's fine.
You mean two of you guys?
One guaranteed, but yeah.
Okay,
Um,
fair.
but yeah, regardless of that, you can see how much trouble our midfield is right now. And you can see which players definitely need to get moved on. And regardless of that, when you're thinking now that you're in the big Champions League, now you also have to start worrying about your squad depth. And our depth is just nowhere near as what it needs to be to, be able to comfortably compete in Champions League. So I think it just honestly goes to show more signs of just problems that we need to kind of worry about and stuff we need to be looking out for in the transfer window. And I feel like that's pretty much the only takeaway from this game. And another unfortunate takeaway, no Bruno assist. No Bruno assist because no one scored goals. So makes a lot of sense. But just two more games left, so the curse is finally hitting.
I wrap him up, man.
Huh?
Wrap it up, man.
I literally just
Shit,
I literally just wrapped it up.
shit was so boring, man. Like
Yo,
I
can
was
you?
saying like the game too, but
What do you mean shit
think
was
about
wait, hold on, wait, what do you mean shit
no,
was so
hold
fun?
on.
You didn't know the starting lineup. You didn't even
No,
no, you didn't watch the game.
here.
You didn't watch
No,
the game,
but
did you?
here.
Okay, I
Hear
have to
me out.
change
Hold on, wait,
mics.
hold on, wait,
Let
Can
me
you
land.
hear
Let me
me?
land. Let me land.
Can you hear
wait,
me?
hold
What
on.
was up?
Yeah, we can hear you, we can hear you.
Okay, I have to change mics. My other mic's
Okay,
cooked.
I did not watch the game. No.
So how is the multiplayer game then?
But like, let me land. Let me land. Hold on.
This guy's
Like, we're not
shameless,
even
man.
talking. Like, we're
Yeah,
not
go on,
even
go on.
talking about the game itself. But like, think about it this way: you're basically still in third. You're pretty much probably gonna finish third.
Yeah.
Like, the result hasn't really changed anything from your season.
Yeah.
The game itself is kind of boring. So, like, when you think about it, like as a whole package of
Oh,
things,
you're saying it's oh yeah, no.
it's
If you're
just
saying
like
from that perspective,
it's
yes,
just like an
it's
insignificant result. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah, no, I agree, but that's what I'm saying. This no, but this game was an insignificant result as to how our season's gonna end. Yes, I already said that, and that's exactly the reason why we had to do what we did this time. And honestly, bro. By the way, and I should have gave props for this, but Lemons once again, I'm happy that that Liverpool mistake did not let him affect his game. But he was the key reason why we didn't get scored on, and even to you know, we used to concede goals like it was nothing, and for us to even not concede, I was shocked. I was shocked. So there's that, but I think once again it's because we knew that this game is gonna have absolutely no um effect on how we end the season. That's exactly why we had to make these changes and give other players the opportunity. But like I said, it just presented us with more concerns and it presented us with more insight on what needs to happen going into the next season. So I think it was still I'm happy that it was an insignificant result because it had no impact, but it exposed a lot of issues that we need to address. So in a way, I'm happy that this happened, but from a fan base perspective, yes, I couldn't have. I would have rather spent 90 minutes doing something else.
Yeah, I mean, just I guess give my two senses on it. Oh, whoopsies. Hold up. Whoops. There you go. Anyway,
That scared me.
it's all right.
Oh my
It's
god,
no, 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 don't
not
worry, don't worry, don't
again.
worry. It's not. It wasn't that deep. But anyway, I guess I give my two senses on it. By the way, my mic's cooked, so I think my wire is like broken, so I have to get a new one. So you're gonna have to help me figure out what type of wire this is. But anyway, all besides the point. I think the game was dull. The game was boring. I think, like you said, like there wasn't much. Like it's a squad depth issue. You guys rotated. I remember the lineup, by the way. You guys rotated, and it just is what it is. Like it kind of shows your squad depth is cooked. Like Mazawawi in the Big 26 is crazy. Mason Mount in the Big 26 is crazy.
Yeah,
Um, so I think there's obviously depth issues there. I
Depth
also
is
don't think
basically unstoppable
this
defensively
is
though.
whether your fans want to hear it or not. I don't think Mainu can start as many games as you guys would need him to with the current midfield you guys have. Um,
oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
so there's a bunch of changes that need to be made,
Yeah,
but I guess it's a long-term problem. I think for now, I don't know. It was probably the worst game I've watched you guys play in a while.
yeah,
So I
hands
think
down.
that's just what
I
it
think
is.
since
And I
the
don't know,
Wolves game.
like I saw a lot of people being like, oh, I don't know, this is why I wouldn't want to hire Carrick, and I don't really think that's fair. Like it was a dreadful game, and
No,
you
no,
guys
no. This
have.
is. I don't think this should be on any blame should be put on him. I don't think a single percent deserves that. I think
I mean, honestly, you guys have dipped in the past few games, though.
no, we have dipped slightly. Like honestly, if we're talking about Liverpool, yes, we had um 25 minutes of just nonsense that could have cooked us for the game, but otherwise first half was still amazing. I think under Carrick, especially at home first half, we've been incredible. But then obviously there's that same issue where, for the first couple minutes we dip off whatever, right? But I think like I said, I'm happy that this was a game that just made no change as to what happens at the end of the season, just so it exposed these problems early on, and we're able to kind of get better insight on what needs to happen. Because now that we've secured Champions League, now that we've achieved the goal that we've had since Carrick has stepped in, it's time to look at the next goal, which is the transfer window. What needs to happen?
Yeah,
So
I mean, we did say like we'll end up talking about it at the end of the season, like what
yeah,
we all want to do with our clubs. I mean, Chelsea, brother, who knows how many transfers you guys want to make, and you guys will make probably at least 20.
5 million.
But yeah,
Yeah, don't worry.
probably.
We'll drop another billion and finish in 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll obviously we'll cover that eventually after the season's done. But I think that's kind of I don't think there's anything else to really talk about when it
No,
comes
not at
to
all. I think, like I said, just expose problems if anything. But
yeah.
result-wise, performance-wise, didn't give a crap besides the Bruno assist, which didn't happen. So
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up
two
then,
more
man.
games left. Yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in the next game week.
See ya.
Bye.